Good morning.
Oh, let's all take a nice deep breath. So good to be able to come together here this morning. So I have a song for us this morning, and I think we have slides for it, and it's just an affirmation song, so I just invite you to sing along with us. Thank you. And if you want to do like a callback, usually that's all right. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. What joy? Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. One more time. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Oh, you guys are amazing. That is fun. So I have another song for us this morning. Kind of new to me. So you may already know it actually. And what we're going to do is I'll sing the verses and we'll sing the chorus together, okay? And so I just made the slides for the choruses, and Kaylin, when we get to the place where we're going to sing I am, I'll say I am, and we'll all do that together, okay? All right, so let's start this one. This is a nice one. So quiet, so I invite you again to take a nice deep breath. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones that will change the world. We are the ones. We are, yes. We are the ones. We are right on. No one else gonna make the changes. No savior gonna drop from the sky. Nothing left to do but wake up. Cause you know it's up to you and I to take it one step at a time. Stand together with your hand in mine. Then we will see the world that we've been dreaming about. If we need it now, the time is now. There is no doubt. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. I know that we are the ones. We are, yes. We are the ones. We are, I am the one that I've been waiting for. I am the one who will make a difference. I am the one who will change the world. I know that I am the one. I am, oh yes, I am the one. I am, I know that we are the one. We are, yeah. We are the ones. We are, you are the ones. You are, yes. You are the ones. You are, we are the ones. We are the ones.
Thank you, Treasure. Let's hear it for Treasure. Good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter, your senior minister, and it's my honor and privilege to welcome you all here this morning. This is the place to be. You made it. You're here. Relax, enjoy. We have a wonderful service planned for you. And we're going to do what we do every Sunday morning, and that's recite our vision mission statement. So if you feel so inclined, please take a look at our screen, which says, at the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living, we are open, loving, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness through teaching spiritual principles. And that's why we're here. And I think that's why you're here too. So we're just glad that you've made this your spiritual destination for this morning. We've been expecting you. Thank you for not disappointing us. And we will start with some announcements this morning. So I'd like to invite up Jamaica Wallace, who is a newly minted practitioner and on our board. And she will have some announcements for us. So Jamaica, come on.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Nice to see all these beautiful faces. Well, I'm Jamaica, and it is my honor to do the announcements today. We have some really fun and exciting things coming up. September the 18th, we have our annual meeting, you guys, and we are inviting all of you to please come and attend. We are going to be voting on new trustees for our board, and we do need a quorum. We are your board. We are a membership, and we need you guys to be a part of this. The nice thing about this, per our bylaws and our agenda, will include, we're going to have reports on the affairs of this center. We will touch on the annual financial reports. We will have a presentation on the annual budget, and we will touch on the ecclesiastics report as well. Today, we have a small treat for you. We have 4 nominees that are running for the board, and we have a short little presentation from each of the nominees for you guys to get to know them a little better. So I would like to start with inviting up Nicole Brown.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Great. My name is Nicole Brown, and I've been a member at CSL for about 4 years. The first time I walked through those lovely purple doors, I said, I'm home. Grants Pass CSL has given me a sense of love and unity. And I'm sorry. And this is my family. Since I've become more involved in CSL, and within our community, it has enhanced my passion of spreading love and joy. I would love to be a part of the board of trustees. Sorry, my breath. Not only to enhance my, I would love to become a part of the board of trustees, not only to further my growth, but more importantly, to serve my community and to return the love I so deeply cherish. I have 25 plus years in dental, where I have the wonderful opportunity of not only changing people's traumatic experiences into one of peace and love. Throughout my years, I ran several small private practices and large clinics. I traveled, managed, trained, and counseled assistants in the front and back offices. I also trained doctors and employees on dental computer software programs. In my spare time, I joyfully volunteered at convalescent homes, where not only did I help patients with their dental treatment, but just to show them that they're loved. I retired 5 years ago, which has given me the opportunity to explore new adventures. I have great leadership and organization skills. I work well with others. I enjoy learning new things. I'm very creative, kind, and loving. And I'm sure I have many more talents that will come to my awareness as my journey continues with CSL. And also, I'm an amazing hugger. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Nicole. Next, I would like to invite up Shirley Baez. Thank you. I had a blink all of a sudden there. Baez.
My name is Shirley Baez, as most of you know. There we go. There we go. I have attended here at the center since sometime in 2012. This is the only spiritual community that I ever wanted to stay and be a part of. I tend to be a helper backstage, so often you'll see me in the kitchen and helping and working around there. I'm not well versed in organizational operations, but I'm willing to learn and help in any way I can as a member of our board of trustees. I know that I don't know everyone and often forget names, but please know if you need anything or need some help, have questions, I'll do my best to answer and get you the help or answers you need. I'm grateful for the chance to get back to our community and help represent each and every one of you. And thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Shirley. Next, I would like to invite up Wendy Orsak.
Hello, everybody. I'm Wendy Orsak, in case you don't know me, and I am running for a seat on the board. Well, not really this board, but the board of trustees here at Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm super excited to have the opportunity to serve the spiritual home that I love so much. With fun, new energy, integrity, honesty, empathy, I will represent our community, be the voice for our members, our home and our greater community. I'm business-minded with family values. My experience spans from volunteer to corporation. I've worked as retail customer service, a veterinary assistant, an animal trainer, a business owner, 18-wheel truck driver, I'm a crystal goddess, and I've owned a limited liability corporation. Also, I've been serving as an appointed treasurer here on the board already for the past 4 months, and I helped organize the fun fair this summer. I'm a natural team player with leadership qualities. I'm good with people, a great listener, a hard worker, and I follow through. You definitely can count on me. We all know that a good board is strong, flexible, and sturdy under pressure. So I will anchor into our spiritual principles to manifest the highest good in my life and for this center and beyond. This community of like-minded people really fills me with faith and love, so please let me give back. Everybody, just vote for Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy. Last but not least, myself. I'm Jamaica Wallace, and I am currently serving as a appointed member of the board since January of this year, serving as the secretary. I've owned and operated my own businesses since I was 19 successfully, so I have some business experience with that. And I did have the privilege of working for a board for about 3 years, so I got some deep inside knowledge working hand in hand with each position upon a board. So that did give me some experience. But mostly, this is my spiritual home. I absolutely, the day I walked through those doors, I had tears of joy just streamed down my face, and I knew I was home, and to just get the opportunity to be of service and to give back to this community and to be a representative of this community and to grow and expand is really just my blessing and honor, and thank you for considering me to continue on with that. So thank you. We're going to move on with the rest of the announcements now. So up next, our amazing Trasia Wiley is going to be having a class. Oh, sorry, not yet. She is going to be starting our next class, The Journey of the Soul. This course offers the principles of science of mind with the emphasis on daily meditation, emotional healing, practical application, self-love, soul presence, and life direction. There is a sign up on the back counter, so make sure you get yourself signed up for that class after service. We also have an announcement that our POP group, People on Purpose, will be meeting September the 15th at 11 a.m. And last but not least, our metaphysical book study group is continuing on Sunday mornings, starting at 9 a.m. right here in the little back room to 9:45, and we are currently studying Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Thomas. Thank you, and now we will have Trasia come up and we will sing We Are One together. Here we go.
Let's stand together. We are one. We are one. I are me. We are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony as peace has come, as we are one. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony as peace has come, as we are one.
Please join me in reading the gratitude this morning. I give great thanks for all the divine energy that work within me, and so it is. Well, good morning. It's my great pleasure to welcome you from my point of view as a practitioner here at the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Bucky Dennerline, and I agree with everything about you being here right now. It's the perfect place, and we're so glad to see each one of you joining with us in this beautiful spiritual time. Our table practitioner, the person holding the high watch, is at the back of this room. It's Deborah Perdue, another practitioner here at the center, and she is holding that consciousness throughout our service, as well as here at the end of the service to guide you to someone to do spiritual mind treatment, what we call affirmative prayer. One of the core tenets of our practice is this affirmative prayer. So if Deborah is your practitioner, great, or if she's busy, she's going to direct you to another practitioner. I will be available, and if there's any other practitioners, Janice is here, Jamaica is here. So, and Tracia, thank you, Tracia. We're all here in service, in prayer, so please let us pray with you, for you. Let's see here. We do have another way you can make a prayer request if you don't want to do it in person. Those of you online in Zoom land can do it on our website. We have a little form there. You can click on the buttons and just type in what you guys are heavy or really prominent in your heart, what you would bring forward. It doesn't have to be heavy. It can be joy. It can be super amounts of great things. You just want more of it. So use the website, and also use the little pieces of paper in the pockets in the front of the chairs. The one that is here is the yellow one, and you can write it down. There's a place for you to just sit there and write it down. Put it in the offering basket or the little box at the back of the table where Deborah's sitting. And also, since we know prayers are always answered, we have these little blue forms, and you can share with us the demonstration, the way that prayer manifests in your life. We love to know those wonderful experiences. So thank you all for praying it up. Let us pray with you. And on our website, you can also make a contribution. You can, as well as make your prayer requests. So it's a great resource for you. Today, I'm pleased to share the flowers that were shared with me by my friends, Julie and Lowell, and from their yard. That's great. Thank you, Julie and Lowell. And we also like to do a special and welcome to those people who are here for the very first time, because you may not know very much about us, but we would like to give you a little welcome packet. So if you're here for the first time, just let Reverend Steve know by raising your hand. You don't even have to raise it that high. There you go. Super. We welcome everyone, regardless of where you are on your spiritual practice, your spiritual path. You are welcome here. So thank you, Reverend Steve. If you haven't silenced your cell phone yet, please do so that we can get right into that good old prayer mode with our prayer that's coming up next here on the screen. Let's join together and say today's prayer. Wonder is at the helm as I discover all the ways I can pour myself out into the world in magnificent ways. I create a life that matters, and so it is. Let's stay seated and sing I Am One together. I am loved. The love of God is in my life. This week, our focus is on work. Parker Palmer, an author of many books on life, purpose, and work, including Let Your Life Speak, Listening to the Voice of Vocation, and On the Brink of Everything, Grace, Gravity, and Getting Old. He pointed us to a truism when he said, before you tell your life what you intend to do with it, listen for what it intends to do with you. Before you tell your life what truths and values you have decided to live up to, let your life tell you what truths you embody, what values you represent. Each day is an opportunity to embark upon a personal journey to make meaning in the professional arena of life. Wonder is all that is needed to discover what is within such a way that life invites us to pour ourselves out into the world over and over again. Whether we are working at a job or profession or contributing through our volunteer work, just showing up in our spiritual community, there is work for everyone. The prophet Rumi said, there is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. It's easy to believe that we are living the life that we are supposed to be living. But are we? In his poem, Ask Me, William Stafford, our Oregon's beloved poet laureate for over 20 years, wrote this poem. Ask me whether what I have done in my life, ask me whether what I have done is my life. Ask me whether what I have done is my life. I believe his point is that we may be living in response to outward circumstances rather than inward desire. When this happens, we must stop and listen to our life to find that center point within. So during this time of thinking and studying about work and life purpose, we are invited to dedicate time individually and collectively to listen to our lives and bring forth the signs and messages revealed as a means of individual and community and world renewal. So I invite you to take a deep centering breath and close your eyes if you're comfortable, or take a soft focus and go within to that center point, the place where life truly speaks to you. And now I invite you back into the room as each breath deepens and focus comes back as we prepare to move on in our service with some very wonderful special music by Trajan and a special message by Reverend Stephen.
Good work is challenging work. And sometimes I need an affirmation. And sometimes I bite off a little more than I think I can chew. And so the affirmation, I can do it. I love this. And so it's true that we walk in a calling, a vocation, and that's what we're going to be talking about. But I think sometimes when we get up in the morning, we need a little something more. So this will be something just all right, here we go. Yeah. I can do it. I can do anything. When I say what I want and I walk my talk, it's all important to me. I can do it. I can do anything. I
down out of the way. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
Ready to do it.
Yeah, let me just do some tidying up here. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And this month we talk about work. Everybody's like, can I leave now? But you know, you've been working since you gained consciousness on this plane of existence. If you got a paycheck or not, I know few infants that started receiving paychecks upon entry to this experience, but there are some that have, right? So living everyday wonder work, creating a life that matters. So I want to first start by acknowledging that today is 9/11, right? We went through quite a experience, a dark night of the soul. The whole planet did, as part of a rude awakening, I call it. But I just want to honor those people, their families, and every one of our experiences that we walk through. We're continuing to walk through interesting challenges, aren't we? That's why we have a remote control that we can turn them off. Well, one's vocation, or what we do in our lives, is not something out there at the edge of the horizon between now and our greatest yet to be. It's happening all the time. Our vocation, or what we do all day long, is divine energy being made manifest. We are always at work. You may say, well, I'm retired. I don't work anymore. And most retirees I talk to don't know how they fit work into their schedule now because they're working harder than they ever did. Just you know, having your life is work. Taking care of yourself and your car and your animals, if you have them, or whatever you do. You know, you've got, you know, I see Guy running around all the time in his car. He's got, you know, he's busier than he ever was when he worked, because he volunteers places, he does things, he's very active, and it's good to stay active. We need activity as our divine expression. So how can we deepen into the wonder of our vocation? Some of us may still be working. I'm working right now. This is my job. All right. We need to create a life of meaning, and to create a life that works for everyone. This means doing something that's proactive. And that may be as simple as opening a door for someone at the post office. It's in those mundane moments of connection that the divinity of who we are steps forward. And it's some little simple thing. You know, we think we're here for some huge greatness, and we are. I mean, do you know what miracles it took for each one of us to have a life on this rock that's hurtling through outer space? It truly is a miracle that we even exist. And here we are having these intricate little lives with our intricate little experiences. But they're not little to us, are they? You know, when we look back at our lives, some of our biggest challenges look a little smaller now because we're not walking through them right now. But if you can look back at your biggest challenges, they hold the pearl of wisdom that could have never given you any other information than by what they were for you at that time. Everything serves a purpose. Everyone blesses us in our lives. Some coming in and some leaving. This is how it is. This is what life is all about. You know, in our center, I mean, I've been here for 6 years now. Whoa. And most of the people have changed. And if you're still here, you have changed. You're not the same person you were 6 years ago. And that's okay. That's part of, churches are known as the church of the revolving door. People come in and they have a healing and they leave and they get scattered like seeds into the world. Some of us stay because we want more, right? We like this teaching. We want more of it. Our work is an extension of our passion for life. What are you passionate about? What rocks your world? What is your thing? Is it music? Is it accounting? Is it gardening? Is it eating? Our life experiences, even if we're retired, are work. Now, I don't like to call it work because if I call this work, work to me sounds like drudgery. I don't like that work. I like divine expression. This is my divine expression. So I want to ask you, what is your ministry? You are doing a ministry right now. Did you know you're a minister? Every one of us is a minister. Now, you may not have the license to minister, go to a wedding or a funeral or a Sunday service, but you're a minister, all right. You choose the food in your ministry. You choose the special events and what TV shows you watch and what walks you take with your animals, if you do that sort of thing. But you're the minister of your life. Nobody's saying you have to do this. You get to do this. Our life experience contains successes and failures, productivity and improvements, contemplation and efficiency. We want to do our work well, don't we? I mean, even if you're, let's say, I used to be a janitor. I used to mop floors and clean commodes. And when I first took on that job, I was a little like, oh man, I gotta be a janitor. And then the people who were training me were like, oh no, we're making this place nice for the people that work here. And when you walk in, don't you want it to be nice? And I had a different idea. And I was like, I'm gonna clean that commode like nobody else's business. I want people to say, who cleaned that bathroom? Because it's sparkly clean. Who mopped that floor? Because it's so beautiful, right? Don't we want to, when you go into a hotel room, you kind of want it to sparkle a little bit, right? You want to feel like you're the first person there, right? So when we look at the container of our vocation, our company, or our factory, or our boardroom, or our break room, our words and feelings make up the operational fabric of our workplace, not the workplace. It is the people who populate it that make it what it is. Have you ever called customer service and gotten a rude person? And maybe you were rude to the customer service person because you had a challenge and they weren't quite giving you what you expected. And you got kind of ticked off, right? Right? I mean, when you don't get what you want, when you have an expectation, it's not met, you tend to get flowery, I'll put it. I say that in the best way because if I'm ticked about something, I want somebody to know about it. I'm going to call somebody. And hopefully I don't get some machine, right? But when we have somebody on the other end of the phone that can say, I hear you, I know how that can feel, and we are taking steps to change this experience for you. All of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, have a nice day. All of a sudden your mood changes, right? But when somebody says, oh, we can't help you, you don't want to do business with that company anymore, do you? All it takes is a subtle shift in perspective. All you need is somebody to go, I hear what you're saying and I understand your experience and we're gonna do what we can to make it better for you. That's all I want is to be heard, man. I don't, you don't even have to fix my thing. If you can talk to me nice, I'm halfway there, right? You know the feeling. See, we are all spiritual beings living out a spiritual experience in this world of form. We are doing it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. You're never not a spiritual being. You don't like turn it off when you walk out the purple doors. Well, I'm not spiritual anymore. I'm just another citizen of the world. No, you take this teaching with you. That's the beauty of this teaching, is it is who and what you are. There's not you and God. There's you as God. It can be no other way. If there's not a spot where God is not, then you're it. Look no further. Your searching is over. Look in the mirror. Sorry. Thus, the work we do contains some less obvious spiritual elements hidden within the mundane moments of our life. You know, it's really interesting how the universe hangs this paycheck out in front of us, thinking that that's why we're working, so that we can pay our bills, so that we can have weekends off and experience our life. When really, our work is to go to work to have an experience of other people. And we wouldn't do it unless somebody held a paycheck out in front of us. If you weren't getting paid, would you show up to work? Hell no. Hell no, right? Well, you got to get a different job then. You got to change your vocation then. Because you want to go to work because you love working. And getting paid is a byproduct of doing what you love to do. And when you do that, you'll never work another day in your life. You will be there, and they're paying me. I get to do this, and they're paying me too. What a great job. It's about more than the result or outcomes. It's about how we treat each other. It's in the courtesy that we show one another. You know, I may not believe what you do politically or in other areas of our life, but can't we at least speak obligingly to each other? Can't we be kind to one another? I think we need to get back to kindness. I think we need to get back to the kindergarten. You know, if you borrow it, you replace it. If you break it, you fix it. If you offend someone, you apologize. You know, come on, it's basic kindergarten courtesy, right? But some of us have forgotten what it's like. So this month is an invitation to embark upon a new adventure in your spiritual practice of finding the good in the work that we do every day. And like I said, if you're retired, the work you do every day is just getting yourself fed and to your appointments or whatever you do. You are your minister of your life. You get to decide how that rolls. Through the revelation of everyday wonder, we get our tasks done. But if we don't see them as tasks, as a have to do, we get to go to the bank. We get to go pay our bills. We get to take our car to the mechanic. That's an honor. It's not a task. This week, our focus is upon the statement that Bucky recited, the Parker Palmer proclaimed when he said, go ahead and put the slide up for me. Before you tell your life what you intend to do with it, listen for what it intends to do with you. What is your life intending to do with you? What is the divine called you to be, do, and have? What is yours to do? Before you tell your life what truths and values you have decided to live up to, let your life tell you what truths you embody, what values you represent. So here we are trying to tell the infinite what we want to have happen. And we need to be better listeners of what the divine is showing us is the way. So if you find that you're in a situation where it's challenging to get something done, that's not the right place for you to be. If it's effort and a strain and a challenge and it's making you mad, be glad that you have that sensation so you can go in a different direction. See, it's all telling you what direction to go. Now, this doesn't mean that if we get in a situation, we don't work hard to make it better. It means if we continue to try to do something and it's not working out, we shouldn't waste our time attempting to do something that we're not supposed to be doing. A lot of us have worked jobs that were not for us. Anybody have a job like that? That was just not yours, but you took it because you needed the money. I mean, you know, hey, they said yes, and I said yes. There we were. And I should have said no, but it was the only yes I had at the time. That means there's something to be known. There's something to be known. I did telemarketing for a little while. Oh, isn't that fun? Hi. You've won a spin on our winner's wheel. Everybody wins, of course. And you have a trip to blah, blah, blah to sit with our people for 4 hours so we can sell you timeshares. And this was before automated calling. And boy, I hated that. I lasted 3 hours. I couldn't do it because I didn't want people calling me doing that. Here I am calling people to do that. Just is not. Now, there's some people that are really good at it. This isn't to say anything bad about that profession. It's just not for me. And I learned it rather quickly, what's not for me. But we need to know. We need to find out what's not for us. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. Each day of our lives is an opportunity to embark upon a personal journey, to make meaning in our professional or retired areas of our lives. And we need to approach every day with wonder. I wonder what gifts of the divine will be bestowed on me today. What is my miracle today? If you can wake up asking, okay, divine, what's my miracle today? Show me the money. Show me the divine energy. Show me something. Watch what happens. Because when you approach your day with wonder, you will be, before you even get out of bed, you'll be like surprised at what the infinite brings to your consciousness. In the Science of Mind on page 432, paragraph 2, it says, we must cleave to the good and trust absolutely in the law of God to bring about any desired end. Spirit will mold our purposes when we allow it to do so. As we learn to depend more and more upon the perfect law, we shall find that the law is an outward experience in our lives, which are necessary for our good to be provided. Again, that's Science of Mind, page 432. So that gets me to my 3 talking points. Number 1, speak to me about the inward journey. The Quakers say, let your life speak. What is your life saying to you today? What is your life experience today? When we allow our lives to begin to speak to us, we would be wise to listen. Our life says, the very best parts of your being have somehow been set aside or gone unnoticed. These are essential elements that must be lived aloud in this now moment and invited into being as who and what you are. So who and what are you? What do you believe yourself to be? Again, as my mom used to say to me, who do you think you are? You know, hand on the hip. Who do you think you are? Well, I'm God, Mom. Just like you. That was not my answer at the time. But I've learned that that should be my answer, because that shuts people down right away. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean you're God? Well, if I believe that everything and everyone is God, there's not a spot where God is not, then you can be nothing else. Now, if I was to stand up here and say, I'm God and you're not, that is blasphemy, because that's not the truth. I'm God, and so are you. Every cell of our body has been created by that divine wisdom. That's how it is. Get used to it. Love it. Learn it. Live it. Be it. So the word vocation comes from the Latin vocare, or voice. What is your voice? What are you saying by what you do in life? What are you saying by what you do every day? And even if you're, like I said, not working, what do you do every day? And can you do it more spiritually? Can you invite the divine in just by simply saying, today is going to be a divinely inspired day? Activates the divinity within you, and it can come into your experience. See, the divine will not come in unwelcomed. If it could come in unwelcomed, we wouldn't be having this little conversation, because we would automatically being you and your highest and best good, and none of us would need to even exist, because we wouldn't have freedom of choice. We would just be little AI things going around doing whatever we're doing. It doesn't work that way. You have choice. God gave us a wonderful truth by giving us choice. Vocation is therefore about listening to the voice of spirit that lives and lies within you, and allowing it expression as who and what you are. Can you do that? Can you sit still long enough to let the divine speak through you? This is what meditation is all about. And when you can do this, music flies out of the dog do. Literally. Literally. Could you be happy with that? Can you be happy with that? Really? All of a sudden, things look differently. The things that used to challenge you, you know, that a little light that comes on in your car, you know, you're like, ah, man. You can go, I get to visit my mechanic. How awesome. My car let me know before there was a challenge. I didn't find out at the side of the road when it stopped. A little light went on in my car. What a blessing that is. You know, I was so mad at that little light. I was going to put a piece of tape or something over it. And I'm like, what am I doing? This poor little car needs my help. And I was denying its divine expression. I'm going to pull over at the side of the road, you know, and it'll say, I gave you a light. I sent you a warning. But you know, it's like when your tires has those new things that they say when there's not enough air in them. Oh man, I had a slow leak in my tire. It was constantly going off, especially if it got hot or cold. For some reason, that would affect the pressure in the tire. And that little light would come on. And I was so mad at that little light. But what I was really mad at is me for not fixing what the light was telling me. When I finally had the divine inspiration to realize that, I got myself over to my favorite tire place, and they said I needed a new tire. Thank God I'm rich. So I got 4. What the heck? You know? Put it on my credit card. We'll pay for it later. No. So letting your life speak to you is about making room in your soul for the signs and messages that are all around us. Those little lights that go off that don't have lights. Those little red flags that come up when you're talking to something about somebody, some situation, and it goes, and you go, I don't see that little red flag. What? We have to heed the warning lights or we will find ourselves by the side of the road. It's just common sense. Your vocation is not your title. It's not a role. It's not a job or even your occupation. It is the quiet yes whispered to your soul. Your vocation is a modality for your soul's expression. Your life never stops speaking to you. Listen for the sounds of the creation of a life that matters now more than ever. Boy, if you aren't hearing the signs, if you have not gotten the wake-up call, this is it. Wake up. We've got a lot of light work to do. Enlightenment, lightening up. There's a lot of energies that are coming up right now. You know, why is it getting so crazy right now? Because energies are coming up to be healed. We're coming into a whole new paradigm, and the old wine sacks won't contain the new wine that's coming forward. The new way, the old way of thinking won't serve the new way. We must get rid of what no longer serves us and thank it for its experience and embrace the new. There's a whole new experience on its way. And if you're in this room or on Zoom, you're already halfway there. It's going to be easy for us to make the shift because there's a lot of people that don't even know about their divinity that are going to wake up and go, I wonder what's that all about? We're already there. We found ourselves here. Today's the day that we allow our lives to speak to us, pouring the miraculous, marvelous light of source energy, spirit, Christ consciousness that is emerging as us into the world. Let it in and then let it out. You can't hold on to it. We are just midwives. We are just stewards of the energy that we are. What happens when you hold on to something? When you put a dam in a river, it backs it up and the water begins to stagnate. We must flow. We must flow. Our lives must flow. Where there used to be a dam, throw a beach towel and enjoy the water going by. Number 2, speak for me, the outward journey. When our lives speak to us, they speak words of purpose, intention, and wholeness, bringing us into the allness of who we have been called to be in this world. Who have you been called to be? What's your ministry? I'm the ministry of taking people to wonderful places. I'm the ministry of gardening. Welcome to my garden. I'm the ministry of insurance. What would you like to insure? See, when we look at our life as ministers of what we're doing, it takes on a whole new energy. The difference between a laborer and a builder. A laborer labors for the day. A builder builds dreams into reality and never works a day in their life. Ask one worker what he's doing. I move bricks from the truck to the job site. As a builder, what are you doing? I am building a cathedral. You are each building a cathedral called your life. How's it going? How's the delivery system? How's your special event going? That's the difference between being a laborer and being a builder. You get to choose. And if you're just a laborer, There's no such thing as little jobs. There's no little job. Everything's a big job. Point 3, speak new life. The call of vocation is to speak new life and to embody, Vocation is the thing you must do once you recognize what's yours to do. Once the noise of the world fades to the background, the voice of your life can be made known, revered, and stand center stage in the spotlight of your love. You are an incredible being. You are created for greatness. God didn't make any spare parts. Now, don't tell my dad that about the bicycles he gave us on Christmas morning. He always gave us a bike and a bag of spare parts because I didn't know where these went. Figure it out. God doesn't make any spare parts. We may see it as something we don't understand, so we call it a spare part. But there's a reason for everything. Let's find that reason, or at least understand there is a reason, even if we don't know what it is. Annie Dillard declares that how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. How are you spending your life? We all only get so much spiritual coin to spend every day. How are you spending it? Are you complaining or worrying? That's only good if it gets you to not worrying and not complaining. Sometimes we get into that, and that's okay. Just don't get stuck there. Don't stay there. Life is made of a million little things that remind us that the job is not all there is. There is so much more available to us through the integration of work, our career and professions, our dreams and aspirations are our vocation. You got into what you do because you wanted to realize a dream. And you're doing it. You may not feel like it right at this moment. You may look back and go, that was not a dream job, but it got you here. So it was. It served exactly what it needed to you. It came to pass. You learned exactly what you needed from that experience. And now, here you are in your divine resplendent. So in conclusion, within the heart of humanity is a voice that is always speaking at the intersection of work and vocation. This voice speaks to us to remind us of who we truly are. You're not a person that mops floors. You're a person who builds cathedrals. Next, the voice speaks to us into the world of life, our work and our vocation, to tell the world that we are here. We are here and we are doing good work in the world. Whatever you do is providing a service, because if you don't have service as part of what you do, you don't understand why you're here. We are here to serve ourselves and others in some way. If you're not sharing yourself, you're holding the football and don't want to play. And there's a whole team of people who want to. As our true vocation begins to emerge, it weaves together the idea of self and the service to other. Our vocation is the place where your deep gladness meets the world of deep need. This world needs us more than ever right now to shine our light. Don't hold back, please. It's only going to prolong your experience of challenge. Let it go. And I leave you with a quote by Vincent van Gogh, who says, "Your profession is not what brings home your paycheck. Your profession is what you were put on earth to do with such passion and intensity that it becomes your spiritual calling." So it is. So we're going to follow our teaching and go within. So I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or take a soft focus on the candles or the beautiful flowers. Let's remember who we are. As we take a second to bring to the forefront of our consciousness what we choose to believe the creative wisdom of the universe is. You can call it Christ consciousness, or Jesus the Christ, or Buddha, or Atma, or source energy, or great spirit. That's your business. You can call it whatever you want. I believe there are as many names for the divine as there are people to name it. But there is only one truth. And that truth is the love that the divinity within each one of us is. And each one of us is unified in that field of all opportunity. There is truly only one of us here. It is God, expressing as the love that we have for one another. And as we look at our vocations and our experiences every day as our ministry, I speak power and divinity into your ministry. I may not know what you're working with, but I know God does. And at this very moment, we activate that divine energy at the root of who and what you are. I call forward our angels, our guides, our divine energetic, and activate it into every situation, be it health, relationship, abundance, creative self-expression, whatever you're working with. As we move from the challenge to the divinity within it, a healing begins to take place. A miraculous energy is happening as who and what you are right now, if you know it or not. We are all moving in divine love. It can be no other way. And as we send attention to our divinity, it activates it with a divine energy and catapults us forward in consciousness, knowing that something powerfully loving is happening because we're in this world. So we are grateful. We are so grateful. I bless every situation that we've ever had, knowing that even in the midst of its challenge, it has brought us gifts that could be brought no other way. So we bless the situations. And we move into knowing that that miraculous energy is who and what we are. And going forward, we bless every situation with that divine, miraculous energy, which attracts new, loving kindness into our lives. As we take that extra moment before we respond, love seeps in, and love is our response. So we let go. We completely release these words into the living, loving law of mind, where God can be God in every situation. And for this, we are so thankful. As we affirm it together by saying, and so it is. Okay, it's time for our prosperity sharing affirmation. So you'd like to take your gift and put it on your heart, or just put your hand on your heart. If that's what you're offering today, let's recite our affirmation together. Life is ever giving to me, and I give back freely and abundantly in divine circulation. And so it is. And now some music from Tricia.
honors is to be able to celebrate people's successes as they step into their calling. Wish for you love, I wish you success. And knowing you are worthy of having it all, you answered the call to serve your highest good. And power within, and now you'll begin to reach your heart's desire. I wish you joy, I wish you peace, but most of all, I wish you love. 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 You have all that you need, all the support. Climb the highest mountain, but if you're afraid, you feel insecure, your angels are watching over you. Open your heart, trust in your path. Faith will always guide you. I wish you joy, I wish for you peace, but most of all, I wish you love. 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 You've got everything inside of you. Nothing's gonna stop you now. There's nothing you can't do. So just stay in your intentions with a blazing beam of light. And go out and shine. You shine. You shine. Wish for love, wish for success, and know that you are worthy of having it all. You answered the call to serve your highest good. Open your heart, trust in your path. Faith will always guide you. I wish for you joy, I wish for you peace, but most of all, I wish you love. 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 I wish you joy, peace, and love. I wish you love. Every little thing that you want, I wish for you. I wish you love. I wish you love. I wish you joy. I wish you love. I wish you love. I wish you sweet love, sweet love.
Let's say a prayer for our offertory this morning. From the love of pure spirit, these tithes and gifts have been collected. They are evidence of our faith, our belief, and our ability to manifest in this worldly form. They do good work in this world. They allow the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living to be open and available to those who choose to believe that there is something spiritual in this community. And even for those that may not know it yet, we are here and we are blessed. We bless the giver and receiver, and all are prosperous. And so it is. Well, it's time for our peace song. Let's not circle up today. Let's just stand where we are and we will sing.
How we gonna cut that?
We'll sing the peace song.
I'm not gonna think of it. All right, take a nice deep breath, and I carry it in my head. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And now for our benediction, please repeat after me if you will. Something wonderful is happening right now.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
It's happening in my mind.
It's happening in my mind,
In my body.
in my body,
And in the body of my affairs.
in the body of my
I
affairs.
think it.
I think it,
I feel it.
I feel it,
And I know it.
and I know it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way it
And
is,
just the way that it is not.
and just the way it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Have the awesome week of your life this week. God bless you. See you next week. Amen.